Okay, so I think that I've got that pretty good. And now I can start really thinking about getting the details just right. So as I look at this now, it just looks kind of a little bit like a mess because everything is the same value pretty much. So it doesn't really stand out the way you'd like it to. And so everything's mapped out. So now basically it is. It's just a matter of getting our values in there. And that's what's really going to start to define things. So I don't want to lose all of that mapping that I did on the texture. I don't think I will. I can still see it, but I want to get the overall values in now. And it might become sort of an interplay between going back and forth. Detail, values, detail, values again. So I'm just looking for where I see that light. I see a little bit of light up here, more so than right here. So I'm gonna look for those things, those little subtle things. I think there's definitely darker value underneath here. Just remember, like on that bottle that we did a couple of drawings ago, I defined that edge by the difference in values, not by a harsh line. So same thing here. If you were to really look, there's some beautiful reflected light right past the core of this shadow. So it gets just a hair lighter before becoming a hair darker again. It's really cool, actually. I love this kind of drawing because you really see things. You see things as you've never seen them before. I'll take and soften that a little bit. There's definitely a stronger core shadow right here. Alrighty then. So, and it's so nice. We can just trust the drawings that we've made already. And so here, this is not white here, right? It's got a little bit of a value change. It comes in through here. And a little bit of stronger value right here. And a little bit of stronger value right here as it comes around. A little value right there. Ooh, and then a little bit darker right underneath this belly. There. And this is a form. Let's make a little form out of this foot. It's a little bit lighter here. Okay, so this is a form in here, so we can just use our understanding of forms to go ahead and create a form here using the values. And you'll see that all the real values really follow the same sort of pattern that our conceptual ones did. Okay, so then we've got a nice dark area right here where it separates the belly from the arm and from the leg right here, under here. And I kind of compare one value to another. So remember when we were making those value scales, right? So, you had your dark, you had your medium, you had your light. But, you also had like medium dark, medium light, etc. So I'll just compare and contrast, one value to another value, one value to another value to try and rectify those. Thinking again in terms of form, right? This leg here is essentially a cylinder. So I just want to think in terms of form. That's what's going to make it round. All right, so I'm looking at this shape here. Maybe get this a little bit more exacting, separating the arm from the body. Okay, so now I can start working on the head a little bit. And we've got that initial ear right in here, and underneath that ear, got some values. And if you need to make some adjustments to any of the forms, you can still do that. It's a nice thing about pencil, it erases. So anyways, where was I? Back here. So maybe this has just a little bit of indication of this really much lighter fur. Okay, very, very light. So not putting in a heavy texture at all. Giving it a little bit of light on that nose. Okay, and then but here, we had heavier texture. Now that I've got my values back in, come in and start giving it a little bit more texture again. So as you're watching these videos, hopefully you'll find it interesting just to see how a drawing progresses. Now this texture, I suppose I could do a less sloppy job on it. Get some of the areas here really thinking about form to make it come out. A less sloppy job would probably be good. But, it is a tutorial after all, and you do want to end it eventually. But we've gone in phases, and we've looked at drawing an overall sort of thing very quickly indeed. And then we sort of made it as accurate as we could, right? We kind of straightened everything up, and we checked the angles, we checked the measurements, we checked the relationships, right? We sort of mapped out the fur, and that really helped us to start seeing how things were going to go. And watch out, it's so easy to get lazy. Just start scribbling. I think I'm starting to scribble right now. And then we put in the values, and that really helped to solidify it. And finally, let me see, this has got that little texture. Oof. And then finally went over and started working on the texture once again. That's how we did it on this drawing. Who knows? Maybe the next drawing a little different. You got to treat them all differently. And that's the thing I love about this observational drawing is there's really no set formula other than the fact that you want to sort of get your quick drawing in. If there was one thing that was sort of set in stone, it'd be that. But everything else is pretty much each drawing, is its own little adventure, so to speak. Right? Okay, so it's oftentimes a really good idea to get away from your drawing, just step back away from it a little bit, and then you can just kind of see some of the things that maybe a few little differences. So I can see, for instance, that my belly is just a little bit bigger than the one over here, and I'll just make a few corrections here and there. And it means that this leg here has gotten less defined, so maybe I'll bring that out a little bit. And then I see maybe some overall values. Now that I've put in a little bit heavier texturing, I can revalue some of it. And oftentimes it comes back to just thinking about things in forms and seeing things. And you'll find that it really follows what we were doing conceptually. And if you want things to stand out, then you certainly want to go ahead and use the whole value range in things. And that's what really helps things to stand out. Round that off a little bit. And like I was saying before, don't be afraid to exaggerate things a little bit. That really helps to communicate. It's kind of like somebody being expressive when they talk. So use all the value scales, all the way from really dark to really light. Unless it's for a reason. Unless you're trying to set a mood for some way or another. That whole thing here. And that contrast, you see, that's another principle. That contrast between the lights and the darks, here like on the edge, what really makes it stand out. Let's see, anywhere else? Are we looking pretty good? At this point, I might not even look at my actual thing anymore, my actual model, and start really just focusing in on my drawing itself. Because, like I was saying, nobody's going to see the original. So, if I really want this to be three-dimensional, I'll start really thinking in terms of forms. Okay, how can I bring that out? How can I make that really look like three-dimensional, cylindrical sort of thing, right? Can we exaggerate that just a little bit to bring things out? All right. Well, I guess we're going to call that good enough. And so that would be drawing number 14. So I'm going to label it drawing 14, observational. And who are you? Well, of course, you got to put your name. Even though I've got it drawing number 14, I still want, for the purposes of this, since it is an exercise, I want you to go ahead and put exercise 14. Well, like I say, I hope that was instructional, and yours, of course, is going to look different than mine. It has to. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that, and good luck.